The world in 2020, people needed some outlet to get out of the house, to be around friends, maybe even get in some light exercise while not risking spreading COVID. One sport checks all of those boxes. And that is golf. And to call it a resurgence would be an understatement.
As we went through 2020 and the world shut down, we went from concerned about solvency and when we're going to open and if people are going to be playing golf to the largest golf boom that I've ever been a part of.
According to the National Golf Foundation, in 2020, there were 24.8 million golfers in the United States, an increase of about 500,000 and 2% over 2019, the largest net increase in 17 years. Golf's popularity right now has only one comparison in the past.
Tiger, who was amazing, but his star burned very bright, and then it didn't have as strong a lasting power. But that's normal for a unique athlete, right? They go through those phases, as opposed to what we're seeing right now, which is some structural change along with what is candidly a COVID dividend.
But it's more than just the pandemic that has made golf's popularity. It's also sweeping changes to the game itself.
There are cultural aspects of golf that I would say historically did not make it friendly. I think that is changing dramatically now. It is becoming inclusive in the sense that everybody's welcome.
Golf is becoming cooler. The mystique of what is a golfer is becoming more and more of a golfer is me. A golfer could be anyone.
In addition, there are companies and technologies emerging both on and off the course that are making the game more accessible, making players better, and diversifying who decides to play the sport.
Yep. Good contact. There's 80 million golfers in the world. Off that, I would say probably 50 to 60 million are looking to get better. For anybody who's looking to get better, it's for you. And it created features within there that help you target it.
But can this popularity be sustained for the long haul? That's what I'm about to find out. This is the future of golf. And the question on the minds of stakeholders around the globe is one of reinvention and momentum. Can the age-old game of golf convert its momentary success into permanent gains? So here's the thing about golf. It's hard, it's expensive, and it's intimidating. And in a place like New York City, it's really hard to find a real course that you can actually get access to. But there is one place that's starting to figure out a couple of those challenges. First, the space, and second, the intimidation factor, and you don't have to worry about being as terrible as someone like me. You may have seen this pop up on your TikTok or Instagram feeds, people taking videos of themselves here. It's a place called Topgolf.
Topgolf is the avenue for most of the world to experience golf and get into golf. And it never existed back in the early 2000s.
That's Chip Brewer, the CEO of Callaway, which bought Topgolf in March of 2021. Topgolf is like if a driving range, an arcade, and a bowling alley had a baby. And it's the leading off-course golf experience in the world.
Well, on-course golf is what you think traditional golf. So there's 24 million people in the U.S. that play golf on a golf course per year. But most of those play one round. Okay, so, and then off-course golf means that you experience golf not on a green grass golf course. So that is, you're going to a Topgolf or a driving range.
There are currently 70 Topgolf locations around the world today, and it's growing fast, with the biggest Topgolf ever slated to open in China.
So we don't hand you a rule book. We hand you an immediate pathway to fun and having a good time with people you care about.
This is Artie Stars, the CEO of Topgolf. Artie, tell me about your customer, because as they come through Topgolf, it's not just folks who look like you and me.
So when we look at our venue business, we think everyone is a potential guest, a potential customer.
Since traditional golf skews old and white, Topgolf's gamification of the driving range appeals to a younger, more diverse crowd. People who might not otherwise even think about picking up a club.
You would see families, you would see different ages, you would see different backgrounds, different income brackets, people who have never played golf before, and people who play a lot. If you came to one of our venues, you would see that. People with all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of golf experience, non-golf experience. We have over 70 venues in the U.S. right now, approximately 500,000 guests per venue, so 35 million experiences that we have every year.
However, there are aspects to Topgolf that appeal to more serious golfers, and that's its technology called Top Tracer, which gives the customer more information on the distance, height, and speed of their drives.
Our Top Tracer business, that tends to cater a bit more to people who are trying to get better at golf and might spend a couple hours at a driving range and stay engaged in our app. When I grew up taking golf lessons, it was very much a, lick your finger, okay, make your swing a little bit better. Now we give you an app, we tell you how far and high and fast your ball is going. We give you exercises and actual things to do. We do this at Topgolf as well.
When it comes to the popularity of Topgolf, it's a rising tide that lifts all boats for both Topgolf and Callaway.
I think for people that are coming in and playing for the first time or for the first time in a while, we are a place that can remind guests of the thrill of hitting a ball and having fun with a golf club in your hand.
Topgolf is changing the world of golf, and it's creating access to, players of all types. By merging the two, we have a competitive advantage in overall reach to golfers of all abilities. And you think about growth of the sport, but then growth of our business.
One of the biggest reasons people don't stick to golf is because it's hard. As the famous quote goes, golf is a good walk spoiled. But Sal Syed, the CEO of Arccos, is out to change that.
So now we're on like a short par 4
Okay.
for the reward that you're looking for.
So you're a data guy, analytics, you go to business school, you get this idea, and the idea turns out to be a golf tech company. How? Why? Tell me the story.
We realized that there was literally nobody touching data in golf. And golf's a huge industry, like $100 billion spent every year on golf. And the entire reason for existence of a golfer is to get better at golf. And that improvement ends up showing as your score. But that score is composed of so many different things, so many different shots that are taken, how they're taken. And we realized that we need to track every shot that's been taken on the golf course to then analyze correctly where your strengths and weaknesses lie. Wind is kind of coming this way, 8 miles an hour.
Right.
Actual's 86, playing like 87. So that's what we're going to do.
In the most basic terms, how does it work?
And the way it works is there's a one-time pairing process. So these sensors, think of them as impact detection sensors. So they're detecting whenever you make impact with a golf ball. When it's paired with your smartphone, so we're basically dropping pins every shot you take. And we're recording a bunch of information around it. What club was used? What was the terrain? Was it you started at the tee, ended up in the left rough? How far in the left rough was it? What were the weather conditions? What direction was the wind going? Was it sunny or not? Was it cloudy or not? Like all those different things factor in. And then we're able to analyze your game. But very simply, we're recording every shot and then giving you insights about what your strengths and weaknesses are.
So use this to help me understand how this technology would help me as a putter.
This is one of the wildest greens in golf. It has a 5-foot swale that you got traversed, and I have looking at like a 55-foot putt. And for me to get better at this course, I knew I was going to have enough 50-plus foot putts. I need to improve that part of my game. So the app highlighted, my 0 to 10 feet's good. I'm draining a lot of those. 10 to 25, 25 to 50, no problem. It's 50 plus that whenever I'm getting there, I was in trouble. So I started practicing lag putts. Like, look at this putt. This is like 60 feet. It helped me target my putting practice to the exact area, which was my weakness, which was 50 plus feet.
Prior to that, you just knew I'm 3-putting a lot, or I'm...
Yeah, and exactly. Right. And if you know you're 3-putting a lot, it could be that you don't know what range you're 3-putting from. Right. That's really, really important context. Yeah. And so when we track that, we're able to then take all of that data over the course of a round or 5 rounds and really show you that this is not an anomaly. Yeah. This is really where your issue lies, and that's really, really important. Do you want to take it, or you want me to take it?
I'm going to take it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Take it? Yep. All right.
You want to go just a hair left of it, like a foot left of it.
This is the craziest. This is almost like miniature golf on steroids, right? I don't even know what to do here.
This is from like a famous hole in France. It was called the Chasm Hole in Biarritz. Oh, that's good. Go in the cup. Oh!
There's a way to look at this interestingly, and I want you to break this down for me, where you look at it, it's like, well, this is really only for really good golfers, like who can understand the data, who can sort of take this in. But then I can make the case, this notion of like, actually, this is for really crappy golfers.
It's a fair question.
In fact, it seems like it's for everybody, but I want you to help me understand like who gets what from this.
Yeah, we cater to every type of golfer. We'll take your dispersion patterns into account, we'll take the hazards into account, the wind conditions, and tell you for each shot what your optimal club is. What Arccos does is it takes that cognitive bias away, and it's able to, for the average golfer out there, really help them understand how far their clubs go.
So give me the numbers here, like in terms of growth, and this is all about data, and ever bigger numbers mean better data, right? I mean,
to date, we've recorded 500 million shots. Like in the future, playing without Arccos or technology like it, as a golfer, will be akin to playing without a putter. You'll literally be leaving strokes on the table. And so I think this will become like a mainstay. I think that's the evolution of this sport and any sport in any industry, honestly.
ultimately, in order for golf to maintain its momentum, it needs companies like Callaway, Arccos, Topgolf, and even the PGA itself to continue to emphasize the importance of including a younger, more diverse demographic to play the game. Golf has needed, I dare say, for a number of years, a little bit of a reboot or a recasting of itself, literally and figuratively, because this is a demographic that the traditional demographic of golf is getting older year by year. Do you feel that happening?
I would say the racial barriers of golf are withering away. I think the economic barriers are still there. Golf as an industry is realizing that it's important to be inclusive.
But we need to, every single year, open it up a little bit more. Making the game easier to play, making the rules on green grass simpler and simpler to understand, providing more forums for competition.
We always think that we are pushing the envelope forward in terms of making golf more accessible, because this technology is designed for beginners as well. There are a bunch of people who, when you're starting golf, it's a little scary. You don't know what club to hit, what to do. And so we make it easier.
Yeah.
Like, we make it easier. And then a huge win, not just for the sport, but for the people that will be accessible to, because I do believe it's the greatest sport.